husband was a big fan of the Carlos Castaneda books about Don Juan, like the Teachings of Don Juan, when he was younger. Well, he still likes them today, but I remember him talking about them, and long before I knew anything about Don Juan and those books. And he would always talk about the teaching about living with death on your shoulder. And just always struck me as so important, such an important lesson to live with death on your shoulder, because we never know how long our life will be. We never know whether tomorrow will be our last day or today will be our last day. And so we want to be living as if our time is limited. Not doing it in a negative way, but in a positive way of, I'm going to live fully. Like, I'm going to live as fully as I can, because I don't know what tomorrow will bring. And so we got to experience this to some extent, not the death part totally, but on Friday. So on April Fool's Day, we had a big joke that happened. Really didn't feel like a joke at the time. But I found my husband in his office having a stroke. And he couldn't talk. His face was droopy on the right side. He couldn't move his right arm or hand. He couldn't walk. The right side of his body was totally affected. And he really couldn't talk at all. He could hear me and understand me, but he could not respond. And of course, as the ambulance took him off to the hospital, I got in my car and I'm driving, and I'm thinking, that he could die. He could be disabled for the rest of his life. He could be in rehab for months. He could be in an assisted living place. Matter of fact, the people we bought our house from moved because the husband had a stroke and ended up in assisted living. So we had a miracle. It's one of the doctors said, divine intervention. And after they did a procedure on him, he returned to normal, like 100% normal. Yeah, he's got high blood pressure, and he has an irregular heartbeat, all of which can be controlled, right? So, which doesn't mean he won't have a stroke again or a heart attack, which, of course, as soon as you've had a stroke, your chances of a heart attack or another bigger heart event increase tremendously. So all the more reminder, right, that death is standing behind us. It's on our shoulder, right? And the point of this is really that when something like that happens, we begin to examine our lives. And, we moved out here to New Mexico because my husband would like to eventually retire, and didn't feel we could do that in California. And so we moved out here for a change in lifestyle. And so he's been already thinking about how he'd like to change his life. And there were things with, we recommitted to our marriage, and we had to think about the changes we were going to make related to our marriage. Now, both of us are thinking about, well, so how do we want to live going forward? And I had said to my husband, I said, watch for depression or other things, because you just had this major health emergency. And you need to think about, you need to watch yourself, because it can cause some emotional issues. And so, just pay attention. And today I've been kind of out of sorts, and I decided to go for a bike ride to kind of relieve some of the stress of the last 3 days. And as I was riding the bike, I thought, it's not just him that is going to be introspective about this event. It's not just my husband who is going to think about how does he want to spend the rest of his life. It's not going to just be him thinking about how he approaches his days. It's me too, because I was affected too. I had the thoughts of, will he, what will he be like when he comes home? Will he even come home? The doctors were calling me and asking, we want to give him this medicine, but he could have bleeding. And, if there's enough bleeding in the brain, then he might not come back from that. They're asking me, if we do this procedure on him and his heart stops, do we resuscitate him? Just those scary questions that you don't want to have to think about. But once you've had to think about them, you can't unthink them, and it becomes a huge opportunity to take a closer look at how you're living and what you really want, and what will you regret at the end of your life. I've written about that on my blog, and there's a video about that too, about the book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying. And for a while, my homepage of my website had all the 5 regrets of the dying listed there, because my website talks about living a life that feeds your soul, because we don't want to have any regrets. We want to have a regret-free life. And of course, we're probably never going to be totally regret-free, but we can choose to live in a way that we don't regret not having spent more time with our loved ones, not doing things that we enjoy, not making our difference, not leaving a legacy, not loving as much as we could, not connecting with God more, all these things. So this event for us, I think for both of us, has given us an opportunity to pause and to be very aware that death sits on our shoulders, to move into gratitude for what we have and for the miracle that happened. But really the point of this video is the benefit of these kinds of scenarios, that we do then reevaluate our lives, and we do refocus them and realign them with who we want to be and how we want to live. But that we shouldn't wait until something like that happens to do that evaluation. We need to do it every day. Maybe every day is a little much, but we need to be looking at how we're living our lives on a regular basis. And I think on a day-to-day basis, doing the things that make us happy and help us feel fulfilled and help us reach our potential and help us experience joy. This is what living fully is, right? And this is what living a life that doesn't leave you with regrets is all about. And I personally don't want to have regrets. There are lots of things that I still want to do, lots of books I want to write, and I don't want to end up having a stroke or a heart attack or being hit by a bus or dying from COVID or anything like that causes me to leave this lifetime with regrets, feeling like I haven't done the things I really wanted to do. So I challenge you to make a list of all the things that you still would like to do with your life. I will be doing the same. And to make a plan for how to do a better job of living fully, how to do a better job of living a life that really feeds your soul, and to start doing it immediately, to start doing it today, even if it's in small ways, even if it's small steps, start doing it today. So I'm going to leave you with that. I am Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I am now hanging on to my camera, which last time I shot a video went flying when the wind picked up. Windy spring in New Mexico. Anyway, I'm Nina Amir, the Inspiration to Creation Coach. I am an intuitive transformational catalyst. I am a certified high performance coach, and I also offer my own brand of personal and spiritual growth coaching called Inspired Results Coaching. You can get all of these things in the Inspired Creator Community. The link is above. And the Inspired Creator Community is the place where I do group coaching. And no matter what kind of coaching I'm doing, one-on-one or group, it's all about getting you from where you are to where you want to go without you being in the way. It's all about helping you live a life that feeds your soul, helping you have no regrets, helping you fulfill your potential and your purpose. So if these are things that you would like to do, if these are things you'd like to do, then reach out or click on the link above. I would be honored to serve you and to help you choose to live the life you really want to live and that you're meant to live. So if that's of interest to you, again, click above. And until I talk to you next time, go out there and achieve more inspired results.